With our Quest Pro, they sent us a couple extra boxes, some accessories, some other things coming, and I thought it'd be cool to check those out. Have you been either watching a ton of Quest Pro videos or checking out your new Quest Pro and wondering why there's 2 holes down here? Are they screw holes? Have you investigated closer? I was getting ready to review this case that Meta sent us that's specifically for the Quest Pro, and in doing my research I do beforehand, so I at least have some things to say, I looked at the price, and it's $120 for a case. So down the road, if you decide that you want to order just the controllers, you will not get the big charging dock that charges everything. You will get this small, almost travel-sized little puck that drops down there. And then just like this, hopefully these go on pretty easily. There's kind of a learning curve to these, we've learned. Aha, we had it upside down. So this is then how you would charge these. It does come with a short little extra cable so that if you're traveling, you don't want to take your huge puck with you. You could plug this into the back. I'm all mixed up here with directions. And then you could still charge your headset by plugging in your headset from there, charge it up, and then just drop your controllers. It's about as tricky as getting it on the actual big dock. It just takes you a little time to kind of learn, snap them together, and then kind of work them down. They find their way onto the magnets decently easily. I am wondering, is it registering that I have enough battery that it just doesn't want to charge up my controllers? I only have like 83%, that's not that charged. But can it only charge one at a time? Do you not have the juice I need? Well, very weirdly, I am not positive if they sent us a defective little puck. It's got the red light on in there, showing that it's got power, and I can plug the headset into it, and the headset starts charging. I'm just talking to you like you can see me. I'm seeing pass-through. I've gotten so used to this now. I'm just like, hey, blah, 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 but you're actually staring at a headset, I just realized. I'm gonna try going the really long way around for a solution here. If I plug this in there, that charges the controller. The white light is showing that it's connected to my headset. It charges just fine when it goes on that one. Do I have a defective puck? Do I just have bad luck? What is with this when I get accessories and they just don't work? This is like brand new out of the box. This should be perfect. Well, if you need to charge your controllers and you get one of these pucks, make sure you bring your extra cable that actually charges your controllers. Because then you can plug it in here and you can charge your controllers one at a time. And then when you get those both juiced up one at a time, you take this little cable and you charge up your headset too. Just bring this with you, I guess. I don't know. I don't understand what's happening. I will be contacting Meta and telling them I think mine is faulty and getting a replacement. So I will report back to you when I get a new one if it works. Apparently we made the Quest 1 and then we made the Quest 2, and we've gone back and forth and kind of decided who was right and who was wrong all along. The Quest 1 had 2 headphone holes on either side so that you could have 2 short little headphones and have them hang. The Quest 2 said, what were we thinking? And undid that. And now here we are back to having 2 holes again for headphones. It's not the most elegant little wire hanger solution thing. Can it hang inside the speaker? Just shove it in the speaker hole. Yeah, it actually can. I feel like that'll keep it a little nicer and out of the way. Let's see what we have here. Well, if you had a Quest Pro and you thought at max volume it wasn't nearly loud enough, you get a lot more volume out of these. I wouldn't dare turn these up to max volume. I feel like I'd hurt myself. As far as actual sound quality, it's a little more bassy. Feels like it's a little more muddy. Let me listen to a couple more things though. Weirdly, I've talked so many times about how I don't feel like I need the blinders. I've been really surprised by that. But now that I have these hanging here, I'm finding these annoying. Like they're distracting my vision because I see them. The pistol whip load time isn't any faster on the Quest Pro. I feel like it takes a long time to load. Well, they're okay. As I didn't know that these were gonna be a launch item or an accessory option, I have little to no idea about them. So let me see if I can find some information on price. The sound is a little muddy. I do think you get actually clearer and better audio out of the speakers themselves, which is a pretty big transformation from the Quest 2 to this. These, you do get some of the bass though. There's some bass that comes out of the speakers here. It's not terrible, but you get a decent thump with these. You do lose some of the clarity with that. 50 bucks, just Meta headphones. It doesn't say that they partnered with anybody. It doesn't seem to give us any clues as to where these came from. I don't know who made these. A couple things. One, I feel like having them on, they really cheapen the look of the headset overall. And I kind of wish they like came with a little holder where you could like stick the earbud in like some of them do. Looks aren't everything, but I do feel like they don't look good. They are designed in such a way they will work with the light blockers, so those won't get in the way of these. So yeah, they stay out of those. I mean, they've pretty well designed the light blockers to stay out of the way of any sort of headphones you plug in there though, so I don't think that's gonna be a big concern with anything else. This little just like clip in the speaker bit also just doesn't scream quality. It works, it keeps them from hanging too far, but I guess you could leave them hanging here if you don't like that, or you can actually put it up. And if you really want them kind of out of the way when you're done, you could pull it back and put it all the way back, maybe. As long as somebody didn't tighten it too far and then knock them off. The problem with buying something that's brand new from a company sometimes is their accessories are the only accessories. This is another one that I'd wait. There's gonna be tons of companies that drop headphones that utilize these two holes, probably have better ways to hook on and maybe have better sound quality. Maybe in the long run, I'll test some more and I'll say, you know, that stock set wasn't bad. And maybe we'll do that. But for now, since we have no other baseline to compare with price or quality, I'd say maybe hold off just a minute and wait at least. So yeah, they're okay, but 50 bucks is not an okay price to me. 50 bucks is a pretty good price. The Logitech G333s, which had really good sound quality on the Quest 2, were less than 50 bucks. But what do you think? Did you already buy these? Are you gonna buy these? Are you wishing now you hadn't bought these after I talk about them? I'd love to know in the comments. The $50 facial interface light block, whatever you want to call this thing. And what I actually found was once it was on my face, it didn't do a whole lot more than the light blockers because I still had this big gap all around my nose. Like with the Quest 2, I could really shove it up there and get it really close and kind of block the rest out. With this, the Quest Pro, the lenses are where they are. You can put them all the way in, you can push the back up a bit, but that's about as close as you can get. And for some people, they'll absolutely want this, or honestly, I'd watch for a third-party solution because I bet you they'll make ones that cover more of your nose and cost less money. Also, a note that we discovered later, and another reason that you shouldn't buy one of these is when it's on, it doesn't charge on their charging dock. It's just too thick. So a good thing that I don't even like really using this thing, but a reason if you bought one already, if you paid 50 bucks for coming, you might want to reconsider that. So the brand is Incase, like just in case, get it? Made for MetaQuest Pro, made with scratch resistant, low pile, faux fur internal lining, so maybe it's gonna be soft inside. Zip closure, tested for up to 4 feet of drop protection. Maybe that's why. That $120 is protecting your $1,500 investment because you can drop this thing 4 feet with it inside. The reveal. I haven't opened this yet, although I did shove my stylus tips in the little hole, so they're in here somewhere. So looking at it, it definitely doesn't look like it's some other case that's just branded for Meta. I mean, it looks like they've set this thing up purposely. I was really hoping there was gonna be like a really good dedicated spot for those stylus tips because I've been afraid I'm gonna lose those from the moment I saw them. They're 2 little pieces of plastic. Like, what do you do with something that small? I feel like you need to get like a pouch that these stay in and then they live in here somewhere. Controller spots. I mean, it's not the most elegant of controller holders, but it goes in there. That is for your power brick. It does seem like it's pretty well molded for the Quest Pro in there. So then I'm guessing your extra random stuff, you just kind of have to shove in the holes up here. Is this meant for this? Okay, that's selling me a little bit more. I like that everything has a spot. $120 though. I mean, if this thing doesn't have a battery in it that charges the Quest while you're on the run, that's a hard sell. Maybe I have the wrong mindset. Maybe because you spent $1,500 on this, that much for a case shouldn't seem that expensive. I don't know. It doesn't have a spot for stylus tips. Why can't there be a little zipper pouch? It's 120 bucks. Give me a little zipper pouch to keep my styluses in. Because if I put them in there, they're gonna fall out when they're in there. We'll try. I'm gonna shove them in there. Now, something that this case does that I don't love other cases doing, it's very common though, because the case is flexible, it doesn't have like a hard shell up here that would absorb weight. Literally, if I was to put weight on top of this, it'd be pushing on this right here and this right here, which is my right controller. I guess I can kind of I'm try to turn that down a little bit and see if I can get that out of the way. But then the pressure point becomes this, which I think is about as low as it's gonna go in there. If you really work it around, you can kind of get the highest point in the case to be the actual plastic inside the case, so at least a ton of pressure wouldn't be landing on the Quest Pro itself. Still putting some pressure on there. It's like when you were a kid and your parents made you try on shoes and they say, stick your toe up, and then they'd feel how far back your toe was. That's what this is doing right here. 4 feet drop test. They say that's a lot less than 4 feet. I think I heard my styluses go flying in there. Oh, my stylus has stayed in the pouch. I still think there should just be a little zipper thing. I gotta stop harping on that. Does the case do its job? Yes. Everything has a place except for these. It was designed in California. What can I say? It's a $120 case. If you bought this thing now and you're really worried about it and this is the only case in the market, okay. But let's look at another case. This was a $100 case right here. They've dropped it now to $70. Look at this, look at the fanciness. This has a battery bank built into it, so it'll be charging your Quest on the go. It's for a Quest 2, obviously. It probably won't work on a Quest Pro, but let's just take a look. Is there any way? That would be really cool if this worked. I don't think it's gonna fit down there though. Whew. You definitely don't have the peace of mind that you have with this case that nothing is gonna touch or scratch anything. So I will give this case marks for that, because everything is getting dangerously close to the lenses in here. I'm gonna say a no on the desk side. There's too many hard edges. I don't like the way it feels. Now at this point, you might be thinking what I'm doing is a crying shame. You don't buy a Ferrari and get a $50 a month storage unit in the worst part of town to put it in. So maybe what I'm doing is kind of wrong here, but it's for science. The Bobo gives me a lot more confidence. At this point, I would say having a lens cover as ones become available would probably be a wise move. Just so in case things roll around there and get near your lenses, it'd be nice to have something protecting them. So for now, I'm gonna take their silicone cover they have, I'm gonna shove it down here by the lenses. Look, a zipper pouch where I can put my styluses in. All I ever wanted. Now, is this 4 feet drop tested? No. Is there some space for it to bounce around in there a little? Yeah, it probably still wouldn't be the absolute case I would recommend, but it shows that there will be options. People will design other cases, and this case was 40 bucks. Really, if they wanted to use the same shell, they could just pad the top here really well. They could reshape it better to where it would hold it steady. 120 bucks just seems like madness to me. But again, maybe it comes back to that whole Ferrari garage example. Maybe because you've spent so much on this, you need to spend a lot of money on the case that's gonna hold it. I'd love to hear your opinion in the comments about that, because maybe I'm just cheap. Tell me. But thank you for coming out today. I will see you in another reality. That was a total fail. What the frick?
With the way that thing was talking so much, it makes me think that thing has a short.
Yeah, it seems like, because it was going back, it was like every time I picked it up, I wonder if it's this, because this looks kind of wonky.